My name is Dr. Nwosu. Prior to joining SecureRecords in February of 2016, I was the country director, managing director of Nokia Networks, Nigeria. Following the exit from Nokia, I joined this company called SecureRecords Solutions. SecureRecords Solutions is in the business of document management. We also have a few other things we do in addition to that. We are also in the business of software development and applications. We are in the business of information security and as well as IT consulting. Interesting question. When I left Nokia, before I left Nokia, many people thought I would go into telecom. Given my background in telecom, I've had over 25 years in telecommunications, right from AT&T in the US, Motorola, Nokia. I've had so many years. But then I chose to go into a business that is somewhat industry agnostic. What do I mean by that? I'm looking for something that would appeal to everybody. And we found document management to be part of that, given the enormity of the volume of documents that need to be converted into digital imagery. This appeals to the universities, federal government, oil and gas industry, banking industry, any industry at all. There's nobody who wouldn't have a need for what we do. And we do it well. I don't want to brag when I say that we're the best in the industry, because we provide end-to-end solution. To us, it's not just looking at document management. We're also looking into data protection. In fact, if I were to rename the company today, I would rename it Secured Data Solutions, because that's basically what it is. Looking into document management, which to us is broken into three components. Digital archiving, which is the conversion of document into digital imagery. In other words, if you go to certain offices, you're going to see files, piles of files, folders. God forbid something happens. It happens all the time. A building gets engulfed in fire, everything is gone. Can you imagine all the assets? Because when you talk about a company, you remember a company by the assets it has. The number one asset, well, in addition to human, are those records. There are instances where, an instance where a bank, I heard, had to settle a litigation as a result of not having their own version of the record. There was a lawsuit and they were looking for their own record, they couldn't find them. These are things that could have been mitigated by simple conversion of those documents that you've had historically into digital format. And to me, converting of those documents into digital format is what I call digital insurance. Because that's what it is. It's ultimately, there's nothing else. Now, converting it and putting it in a disk might not help you. You might want to put it on cloud. You have the opportunity of putting it on your own server, or we can build a server for you. Whatever you want is okay. But the good news is that it doesn't matter which method of storage you choose. We write a protocol that would allow you to retrieve your document from anywhere, anytime. Just like you go and get your Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo Mail. Okay, that covers the digital archiving. Then physical archiving, some people call it warehousing. That's basically what it is in elementary terms. But there's a difference. The difference here is that when we talk about warehousing, we're talking about something that looks like and feels like a library, except instead of books on the shelves, you have boxes on the shelf. There are so many companies doing that in the US today, and the idea is to make sure that your documents are easily tracked, easily obtained whenever you need them. And then there's something else we do before the digital archiving. As we're converting those documents into digital imagery, you know what? We do it, we add what we call optical character recognition. What that does is allow you, instead of zipping through pages looking for something, you can just type in a word and you get whatever document you're looking for. That's one. Two, it also allows you to compress the document up to 90 to 95%. That's what I call bandwidth economics. It makes a lot of sense. Why on earth would you carry that huge cost of bandwidth when you could actually reduce the cost? It makes a lot of sense. And then thirdly, one thing we do that nobody in the industry does is that as we are converting those documents, we are mapping every document to a box. So tomorrow, if you're looking for the original of that particular document, you can easily find it. You know that it's in box 112227, whatever it is. It makes it much more easy to collect. Then finally, under that document management, you have what we call data capture automation. That is very important because today everything is done manually. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that you're crawling instead of walking. It doesn't really make any sense. It's not just for doing it. It makes a lot of sense in doing it because it makes you much more productive. It reduces human error. And of course, it makes you much more efficient in doing whatever you want to do, because once you're able to auto-capture those documents, those things that you would ordinarily take you about 20 minutes to do would now take you about 2-3 minutes to do. It makes a lot of sense. It saves you money, especially under this economic recession where it makes sense for you to do whatever you can to save money for your company and be more profitable. Very important question as well. As I mentioned earlier, we are into the business of digitization, but you also have digitalization. So there's a difference, digitization and digitalization. Digitization is basically the conversion of documents, ordinary documents, into digital imagery or format. That's fine. So I can see, once that is done, you've protected your document for life, especially if it's properly saved somewhere. Digitalization basically is the use of digital technology, internet, computers, and making sure everything is working into that world. So what that would do is to help streamline processes, not just for government, public sector, as well as private sector. Okay? There are some governors that have invited us to come and give them a proposal. We've given proposals to 2 or 3 governors so far. These governors would want a situation where they could stay in their office and monitor what is going on around the offices and several government agencies. It makes a lot of sense. They want to make sure there are no leakages. With digitalization, you should be able to take care of that, because now you know exactly how many people you have. There is biometrics you can apply, whatever you need to do to ensuring that you're paying salaries to the right people who are doing work, right? Collecting taxes. There is this insinuation that many people are not paying taxes. Maybe our tax base is not broadened enough. With technology, we can include so many other people who are today probably not paying taxes. And also not just collecting revenue, but also being able to monitor the use of the money being collected. So all those things, I believe, would help government agencies, entrepreneurs, to be able to design a process that would allow them to make everything as transparent as possible, and ensuring that we are operating in a, just think about global practice. That's what is expected of every company and every organization. So this kind of opportunity of going digital would help you to do that. Now, the whole world is also moving into what we call digital economy. There was a research by Gartner in the US that shows that about 40% of companies who do not embrace digital economy would die. Okay? What does that mean? You remember the likes of Polaroid? You remember Wank typewriters? You remember even Kodak almost died. What happened? They were not looking into the future. Whether we like it or not, the whole world is moving. We have to move along with it. So what this does is to help you to streamline processes. It helps you to detect some things that you would otherwise not detect. It helps you to combat crime in a way, and it does help you to indirectly or directly combat corruption, at least try to reduce the level of corruption. Because when things are so transparent to the point where it becomes obvious what you're doing, you wouldn't do it when you know that you could be caught doing the wrong thing. So this is not just making money. It makes a lot of sense to do.